my name is Caitlin, and I just saw the Minecraft movie. A Minecraft movie. In all honesty, I was not excited for this after I watched the first trailer. It looked bad. I still think it looks bad, and it baffled me that Jack Black was Steve. After finally watching it, though, it was fun. It wasn't a great script, but it was a fun movie, and there were jokes in it that made me laugh. Maybe you don't know the plot. Maybe you didn't watch the trailer, so you couldn't figure it out. So let's start with that. Like I said, the story is nothing crazy. It's nothing very unique. Steve is the first person we see, so naturally we get more attached to him than anyone else. Also, most people know who Steve is. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. He's the default character for Minecraft. It starts with Steve as a child, and he yearned for the mines, but was rejected by older generations that wouldn't nurture his desire to mine. Honestly, it's just one old prospector guy that's stopping him. Because at this point in time, child labor was outlawed and he really didn't want to get in trouble for having kids at the place, but whatever. Now Steve's an adult, disillusioned with life, nothing going on. People are boring and wear beige. And then he remembered the mines. And he wasn't scared of that old prospector anymore. He could just run around him until he finds this orb and crystal and whatever. He's in the overworld. He builds his first dirt house. Then some other stuff. Malgosha is a piglin sorceress or something. She's the villain. She turned evil after she lost a Got Talent competition and was told creativity is stupid. Steve gives his dog Dennis the crystal and the orb to hide, and he hides them in the real world under Steve's bed for some reason. And now we go to the real world to meet our other characters. The town is called Chugless, Idaho, and from what people tell me about Idaho, it's boring, potatoes, Mormons, and something called fry sauce. Exciting. It's also one of those towns that have one company, and that one company is the only good place to work, so yay, small town USA. First, there's Garrett. In the 1980s, he was a video game champion who is now washed up with a failing video game store. He buys a storage unit of Steve's old stuff, including the orb and crystal. I think he was heavily inspired by Pixels, the Adam Sandler's film. Then there's Dawn. She has multiple side hustles, including being a zookeeper of some sort and a real estate agent who brings her zoo animals with her in the car. Because life's hard and living in a small town with one place for good job opportunity is not great. I'm surprised she wasn't selling ugly leggings or essential oils. Then there's Henry and Natalie. They're both new to town, siblings. And anyway, their mom died. And for some unknown reason, she thought it would be a great idea for her kids to go live in Chugless, Idaho, the thriving place with depressed, quirky adults. I don't know, maybe she wanted them to develop prairie madness or something. Because it's a weird dying wish, and it's a weird reason for these two to show up in town. Nothing was stopping these two from just living in town and now having dead parents. Anyway, the four newbies enter the overworld, and one villager heads to the human realm. They have a rough first night, as most new players do. Henry is the only person who figures out how to build anything. Oh, and they get real creative here. They build a house. And then Steve shows up to start karate chopping his way through the zombies, but, boom, daylight. And they all kind of burst into flames anyway. They have to go to beat Malgosha and beat the piglings, and they get separated, boys and girls. Henry calls Garrett a loser, I think. And then they go to some mansion to get the orb and the crystal back from pillagers. And if you thought Jack Black wasn't going to sing in this film, I don't know why you'd think that. He definitely does sing in this film and gets tied down while Garrett has to fight a chicken jockey. I know a lot of kids like the chicken jockey thing. I did too, but I wish his eyes were all black. Him having pupils was why? He's a zombie. Henry finds the stuff, he kills an Enderman somehow, and the boys escape. Meanwhile, the girls have a mushroom house. Oh, and Natalie's upset that she's an adult now and has to take care of Henry because their parents are all dead. Everyone meets up, they gotta get creative, and they make an army of golems, and they gotta get creative and beat the piglings. They got armor and some swift boots and everything. And Henry made sketches of all this stuff, right? But there is no way he got all those detailed sketches in this short amount of time. They win. Malgosha tries to attack Steve, sneak attack with a little knife 2 or 3 times. It didn't work. It was funny though. They get the stuff back, they go through the portal, and with one stupid sentence, Natalie's all you should try coming up with the real world instead of living here or something stupid. And Jack Black just magically changes his mind and goes back to the normal world. Steve and Garrett open a shop and they make a video game, Brick City Battle something. And then we have our 2 post post-credit scenes. One is an ending to the villager's story, the one who entered the human world. He got hit by a car by Jennifer Coolidge. They go on a date, and then they fall in love with each other and learn each other's languages, and it's Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows. Okay. And of course, Steve knocks on someone's door, and hey, there's Alex. Would have loved to seen her. The end. I really love that they call it a Minecraft movie and not the Minecraft movie. It was a fun movie, but not a great movie. I was not really on board with Jack Black being Steve at first. It's still kind of a weird casting choice for me, but he does bring the energy. He's very animated, so he can ham it up. And I think the rest of the cast also did a great job at hamming it up and keeping up that level of energy too. No one's acting was bad per se. It was mostly that their characters had really crappy stories. Garrett and Steve probably had the best storylines. Henry and Natalie were like fine, but I felt like we were meant to connect to them, but I honestly just kind of thought they were really generic and bland. Because you gotta remember, they move to town and then the next day they go to Minecraft. And we learned very little in between. Henry's creative, Natalie is there. Dawn had no business being in this film. She was fine as a character, but she's a real estate agent. Why didn't they just make her the mom's friend or something? Why would Natalie call her real estate agent for help finding her brother? Now that I think about it, the villager who went to the human world also had a pretty good story arc. Ideally, if I could have any Minecraft movie I would want all the default characters we see in the game would be the characters we see in the film. Steve, Alex, Ari, Sunny, the other ones. I do hope they show up in any other Minecraft movie we might get in the future. I liked a lot of the jokes. I liked when they first get into the Minecraft and Jason Momoa is like, I think we're in Wyoming, because Wyoming's square. And you think they're going to make a joke about Legos, but they don't make a joke about Legos. And why not say something about how you're in Lego World or something like that? Legos are square, Minecraft is square, it's right there. Of course, Chicken Jockey. I just wish Chicken Jockey's eyes were black and not have pupils. A lot of people hate the movie. They wanted it to be, I don't know, better. Yeah, everyone wants what they like to be better. But in all honesty, it's Minecraft. I didn't go in there with high expectations. I actually went in there with no expectations, and I was happy when I left. Sure, I wish things looked better, but Minecraft characters were never going to translate well into a live-action format. But the bees and chickens look so cute. Everything else is like, eh. I don't even know how to rate the Steve live-action figure doll. If I was a kid, this would be my Barbie's dad. A big thing about the film was people being creative, and for the most part, they're not very creative. It's like forts, weapons, flint and steel. They have that potato launcher, and I don't think that was a real item in Minecraft. In all honesty, it might have been the 90-minute mark that they were trying to hit and try to keep within that time limit, so there's no montages of them building, I don't know, gold statues of themselves. Ooh, gold chicken statue, that sounds good. Anyway, you know what? Even with the 90-minute run, I think Steve could have just been like, and here's my Coliseum I built. If you're in Minecraft for years, like, yeah. Apparently, the actors also played Minecraft while they were filming, which I liked. I liked that they had a hands-on experience and a better understanding of the world that they were portraying on a film. Even though I want to say Jack Black did play Minecraft with PewDiePie in the past. Oh, and I like the reference to that one YouTuber, Technoblade. I thought that was really sweet. Anyway, the action was okay. The humor's pretty good. The writing could definitely be improved. Like I said, Henry and Natalie don't need to be new to town. There's no point in them being new to town when they're already like having other difficulties in their lives. They experienced enough change with being outcast and losing their mother. But there's no point in being in a new town if you're just going to go to a new world. Dawn was pointless. You know what? I'm happy this film made over $150 million in its opening weekend. I liked it. It's fun, but it's not the best script. I went in with no expectations, and I had a good time. And now the chicken song stuck in my head, but whatever. Okay, bye.